Hello, everybody. I'm Joey, and I'm part of the Chart Guys team. I've been a full time trader and technical analyst for 7 years, over 20,000 hours, and hype markets are one of my specialties. And with that, GME has been top on the menu for me for the last month. It is now my biggest gainer in 2024, and believe it or not, I'm doing it all with technical analysis. Obviously, there's a fundamental narrative and lots of updates in that regard along with it, but I assure you that the techs are running the show, and we'll go through the charts and look at that a bit, and I'm excited to talk about some of that with you. So before we get into it, just to get a little bit of some credibility here, because a lot of people can come on the internet and say whatever they want. So looking here at my Twitter, was fortunately on GME before Roaring Kitty's first tweet even came out, and had a swing position for this multi-year falling wedge, and that was a really good start to it. And then just have been actively trading all of this via TA. So was selling my swing position on May 13th, then shorting that first little blow off top. I'm just playing the volatility both directions. Another 4-hour 12 EMA buy back from May 14th, making the plan, calling the shot, entries live, all of this and that. So hopefully there's no naysayers out there. And if you want to see some more of that, follow me on Twitter at junglefunk_. And if you want to learn more about how all of this stuff works, check out chartguys.com, because that's where I learned everything that I know, is from Dan the Man, that most people tuning in to this video know at this point, obviously the legend. So chartguys.com, that's where I learned how to do all of this. And now let's talk about what all of this is. So the general scene on GME right now is a tightening range. So I'm actually going to go to the 24-hour chart so we can see the extended hours level here. Certainly going to be paying attention to 48, the regular trading hours high from Friday, but the 24-hour chart will give us those extended hour levels, and that's really the level here that I'm viewing as our tightening range. So we've got a high, low, lower high set at 67.50, and we've got bulls trying to shape up this higher low down here at 22.79. So bulls are back, as the thumbnail says, but that's a bit clickbaity, because if we're going to see the most likely scenario play out, then we'll see a lower high compared to that 67.50 and continue to tighten up. And we could continue to tighten up through to the end of June. It's certainly a big range. If we're going to see the less likely scenario play out and just go to new highs or blast down to new lows, you're likely going to need increasing volume to accompany that move. So that's what it's about right now, is just this tightening range. And to take a bit of a step back to kind of talk about how techs are driving this. Well, for one, today we almost had $4 billion traded. Like, is that people marketing in from Robinhood while they're at work? No, it's not. This is the playground to be in right now. I'm a commodities and commodities and index futures trader. That's my main shtick. I don't day trade stocks, but when we have something special like this, I set the futures to the side and I come and bring my focus here. And it's not just me who's doing that. And you can tell by the $3.8 billion traded today or whatever that there's a lot of professional traders looking to make their years on this volatility. And if we look at the technicals, we can see how clean it's been. So this is a volume profile perspective. Obviously, here's the falling wedge that I was scouting. Got lucky with the Roaring Kitty tweet, obviously, but was looking for the wedge, and that's why I was positioned in there before that happened. So that's sweet. But from a volume profile perspective, we got this little range here that ended up topping us out on that first peak. And then we got this little daily range here. I'll zoom in. This isn't a volume profile stream, but you pull your fixed range volume profile, you send your lines across, and then we had a perfect POC tap there, perfect value area low tap there. And now this is what we're battling again up at the upper end of this tightening range. And then as for where we bottomed out here today, this volume profile range, perfect tap of the value area high. And then when we zoom in further, we can see how all of this action is just ping-ponging these value areas. So we've got the little 15-minute range from the beginning of Thursday has been coming into play. That's what's topping us out after hours here. We had that value area low from this range on Monday and Tuesday. That ended up topping us out this morning. I actually took a nice little short off of that. So, on that note, I was posting all of my stuff on Twitter initially, but I have brought a lot of it into just the Chart Guys community now. So this is what our Slack community is. Everybody's in here just working together. So this is this morning at 10:07, and basically, if we get another leg up, we're coming into some resistance. That was that there, and then, took the short, covered half, took it at 26.01, covered half at 25.40, other half, or half of what was left, so another quarter at 24.98. And this is just for anybody who's saying you can't trade technicals on a name like this. We see it all over the place. The uranium space, the MJ space. People talk about you can't use text. You gotta decode the tweets or follow the fundamentals or this or that. It's just not true. It's not what professional traders are doing out here. And to be able to say, would like to get to 5-minute 12 EMA to cover the rest and then start looking long for the 5-minute higher low, be able to come down there, cover the lows on the short. The limit order was covering the rest of the short, and then these markets was reestablishing along. And if we look at the chart here, we dipped a little bit deeper than, where are we? Right here. A little bit deeper than anticipated, pushing down a bit, but allowed me to get a couple more scales in. And then I went to only sell half on this bounce, accidentally sold the whole thing, and that was kind of a red flag for me that I got to, pack it up at that point. But here's that, meant to sell half, sold the whole, packing it up. Obviously, bulls recovered in a massive way after a little 30-minute higher low, and then just kept a 15-minute uptrend all day. So we're getting a little more push after hours here because, and this is important fundamental stuff. GME completed their dilution. The average price on that was 28.49 for the 75 million shares. So that monkey's off the back now, which is bulls like to hear. And then that dilution, my understanding of it, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding of it is that dilution bumped Ryan Cohen's stake down to 8 some odd percent, and potentially could be losing board seats, potentially could have to buy to keep those board seats. I guess he's got more than one. I don't know. I'm not a fundamental guy, and that's another beautiful thing about the chart guys is we have people who are on top of this. Like on the spectrum of text to fundamentals, I'm like 95% text, 5% fundamentals. But having a community like this where folks are working through and hooking us up with the fundamental info, I'm forever grateful for that because I never want to be blind. But so that was a lot. What are we looking for tomorrow? We're looking for bulls to try to see continuation of this daily bounce that is underway, but to have confidence in continuation, you need an hourly uptrend, meaning we need to form an hourly higher low and then higher high. So come tomorrow, we need to hold the low of today and then break the high of today. It's that simple. That would be the hourly trend change and have us see continuation of this daily bounce. And then the hourly trend would be the guide. And we've got a similar EMA rider setup coming into play here that we've had multiple times on this run. So we can see, we'll just work backwards. Hourly 12 EMA acting as resistance. You get up and over, you want to cross these EMAs, and then you want to ride it to the upside. We saw it here, hourly 12 EMA acting as resistance. You get up and over, you hold the back test, and you ride it to the upside. So we also saw it on the 4 hour, on the initial leg up, 4 hour 12 EMA acting as support. You ride it all the way up. Once you lose it, shows over for some duration, ride it to the downside, get back up and over, and that was ultimately what led to the big old bounce from there. So you can use text on this stuff, but it's something where if you're going to be actively trading this via technicals, you either need to have a lot of experience or make sure that you're using appropriate size, like tiny size, because it's obviously very easy to get wrecked in either direction on this name. But if you've been putting in the hours. These are the times to be making outsized gains in a short period of time. So that's pretty much what we've got going. Can bulls get an hourly uptrend tomorrow? If they can, that's going to be daily bounce continuation. We'll look for an eventual lower high compared to 67.50. We'll be watching 48, that regular trading hours high. As far as levels ahead of that, we're currently, like I said, balancing or battling this little balance area here. So pre-market or after hours high, 32.34, going to be important tomorrow. And then after that, we've got 33.58 and then a real lack of resistance up here until that 48 level. So that's what I'm watching on GME. We'll see what tomorrow brings. If any of these concepts don't make sense to you or you don't understand them, let me see here. Let me pull up the Chart Guys website. Just a second. We've got a ton of free information on our website, ton of free information on our YouTube channel. And you can just come in and type in something like back burner and click on that, hit enter, and get all our information on back burners or EMAs or whatever. It's all here. We're here to help people learn how to play this game, and that is that. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see what tomorrow brings. We'll certainly be on top of it in the Chart Guys Slack room. I'll probably be tweeting about it a little bit. And that is that. Again, follow me on Twitter at junglefunk_. If you like cat pictures and nature pictures and technical analysis and trading. All right, have a great night, everybody. I will see you later.